goodness. Hi, friends. Hello. Welcome to the art and animation of Warframe. My name is Danielle Sokolowski. I'm the Principal Senior Community Manager on Warframe, and I'm joined by the incredible talent you see here on stage. They are here to represent their teams and talk about their work on Jade Shadows Constellations, the old piece, and of course, stuff that's in the works, right? Right, we gotta reveal some things, right? Yeah. So why don't we meet our panelists? We're gonna start over here with the lovely Elyse.
Hi, my name is Elyse. I'm a principal animator.
Yeah!
I'm Tim Sormin. I'm a principal animator on Warframe and a mocap performer on both games.
Okay, he's showing off now.
Hi, I'm Mike Skyers. I'm a principal character artist on Warframe.
Woohoo!
Hi, I'm Marco Hasmann, Associate Art Director on Warframe.
Yeah, Marco!
Hi, I'm Kary Black. I'm the art director on Warframe.
Yeah, it's Kary. And who is that we have on the end there? Detective? Detective Kaz? Hello.
Hello. I'm Kaz Adams. I'm the weapons art lead on Warframe.
Woohoo! Okay, everyone. Let's get started talking about one of our Twitch drops for today, the Haalvu. Yeah, hey, a free sentient weapon? For free. Yes, if you're watching from home, you'll be getting this weapon for free just by watching. For those who are in the audience, you're getting it in an email. Don't you worry, we got you. For free, of course. Now, this primary has an interesting origin, actually. It was, let's see, my slide. Oh, there she is. Oh, so not so sentient in its origins. Now, Marco, what can you tell us about this concept?
Well, as you can note, it was initially done as a TennoCon, and it was more of an open task where we didn't have a precise slot where to publish it yet. So I wanted something that it was still working with our rifle animation, but I really like that kind of minigun vibe. So I really wanted that floating and rotating barrel, but tried to keep it in a compact design. So that's what it was at the beginning, and then a while later we have a slot for it, and we decided to give it a sentient twist, which I think having it be a sentient weapon made it such a more unique weapon at the end than it was initially, especially thanks to the work that the weapon team and the specialty team just kicked it out of the park, I think.
Absolutely. And Kaz, can you talk about giving the Haalvu a bit of that sentient treatment?
Well, it's already got a lot of the sentient sort of vibe to it to begin with. It's got these hook shapes, and the floating stuff really lends itself well to a bunch of weird ideas that we can put into it. If we change it into an alien thing, you can do whatever you want with it.
Exactly.
So, why not?
Why not? Why not? We love weird stuff in Warframe, don't we?
Yes.
Now, yes, and those weird components really came in, and the team on the animation team made that a bit of a focal point in the alt fire, and actually kind of every animation aspect of this weapon, utilizing its many moving parts. So let's have a look at the animation work that went into that. And Tim, what were you thinking about going into this?
Yeah, so what you can see here is me just kind of kicking the tires the first time I got my hands on the rig, just kind of grabbing everything and seeing what moves and what doesn't. And Kaz actually suggested maybe it would be nice if the separate barrels could all move individually to expand and contract a bit, because originally they were all just moving as one piece, like a minigun, where it would rotate and only the top one would fire. But once they freed up all the controls, that allowed me to do whatever I wanted with it.
You guys like that? Yeah, it's pretty sick.
So we went Warframe weird for sure.
Just wait, we're gonna show you some of the final versions of this as well.
It gets better.
It gets better, believe it or not. But I know this is a team effort, Tim. The VFX team came in, the design team, our Lua scripters, our technical animators, to make this really sick sentient weapon. Now, just you wait, guys. Again, this is free. It's a free sentient weapon. Yes, that is the alt fire, correct, Tim?
Yes, and just a little lesson for game development. Whenever you make a decision, it doesn't add to the work, it multiplies it, just so you know. So my apologies to the programmers and designers who all had to deal with the complications of having them all fly out like that, and figuring out how to do the math to have them auto-aim and things like that. But it all came together in the end.
Yep, they made it look incredible. Again, reminder, this is a Twitch drop for today. And again, for those of you who are in the audience, you get it in an email with a code. So you get this really cool weapon. Thank you for being at TennoCon. All right, since we're on the topic of weapons, we have a new Prime Access coming later this year, which will include a very exciting primary weapon. And let's see who you can guess who for. Which Warframe? Hold on. Introducing the Stephalos Prime. Now, Kaz, with Prime weapons, we always kind of want to take it to the next level, but with the Stephalos, which is such a big, grandiose weapon, I imagine that kind of presents some challenges sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes we start with really enormous weapons on the Tenno faction. So if you're going to make something enormous look more elegant and beautiful, you kind of need to slim it down a little bit. You need to get rid of some of the surface area and just stretch it out and make it more elegant that way. So we stripped it back down and we made it longer and more elegant that way, and then came back in and added some touches of the gold rails and everything on it.
And made it a beautiful Prime weapon. Now, we can't have Prime Access without also having Prime accessories, right? Now, for our Mystery Prime, which you've surely not guessed what it is yet, we have Operator and Drifter cosmetics. Yes, ma'am. And Marco, I believe this is the first time we will be launching a Prime accessories kind of like face pack. It's got the eyes, it's got the ears, it's got the face. So how did you guys approach that to kind of make it fit so beautifully on the Operator and the Drifter?
Well, we generally wait until we are done with the actual Warframe design to jump on the accessories, so we can steal some ideas and keep the identity of the original Warframe still present in these accessories. And maybe you can guess what the crystals are here for.
Oh, did I hear the word crystal?
Yeah.
Oh, Marco, do you want to tell them what it is?
Well, we'll find out in a few seconds.
Okay.
Anyway.
Citrine Prime. Did you guys guess? Did you get it? Yeah? Yes. Our Crystal Queen is getting the Prime treatment. Isn't she beautiful? Yeah. Gorgeous. Marco, Citrine already has a very kind of one-of-a-kind design. So how did you work with Kary to integrate those Prime elements?
Well, yeah, a lot of work goes early on to try and keep the identity of the original Warframe still present and still very recognizable. So I think that's when you approach a Prime Warframe is the main challenge of that task. And then you tend to add on it and take maybe a couple of big elements to take the bigger swings at. Like in this case, we have the shoulders and we added a skirt on the back, but still always resonating with the main theme of the Warframe.
Absolutely. And now, okay, so we have a very exciting future ahead of us with Citrine Prime Access. And now this isn't everything that's going to be in that Prime Access, of course, so you'll want to tune into some future dev streams. We'll share a little bit more, but how excited are you guys for Citrine Prime? All right, let's talk Jade Shadows Constellations. Now, a heads up. Oh, we have fans. We have fans of Jade Shadows Constellations. Of course we do. Heads up for the audience. If you haven't played through the quest yet, there will be some quest spoilers, so maybe avert your eyes, or maybe not. Maybe you'll find this interesting. Now, this sequel to the Jade Shadows story, we introduced our most complicated Warframe to date. Right, Skyers?
Oh, yeah.
Sirius and Orion, a 2-in-1 Warframe. And before we talk about them all grown up, why don't we go back quickly to when they were sweet little babies? Oh. Now, Mike, as the creator of the Jade Warframe, what was it like for you as an artist to not only see 2 cinematic quests come from your design, but also Warframe babies?
I never would have expected this. It was a career highlight to be with Jade initially in the Jade Shadows Quest 1. It was like amazing that an idea I had spawned such a story that was super intrinsic to the Warframe world. And then when I was about 1 week left in my paternity leave, Reb reached out to me and I'm like, if she's reaching out to me, this must be important. And then she's like, so we're gonna do Jade's babies. Do you want to design them? And I was like, yes. And I was still on paternity leave, and I had a few moments during a nap to do some sketches, and
During a nap?
Yes. And, shared these ideas, and Reb was very interested in doing a very, angelic, white angel, black angel kind of theme. And I, kept working on it and developed it into what you guys saw today, or in the past quest.
Yeah. And were there any kind of standout moments while you were designing Sirius and Orion?
Yes. You guys all saw that really awesome animated trailer by The Line, right? We were still heavy into working on the 3D models for these, and these being 2 characters with a lot of complexities with their helmet wings that open, and then they both have to be 2 parts of one whole. It was crazy to see the trailer release, and then all the amazing fan art that came out really helped us get over the hump and get these guys done.
Yeah, and we love Sirius and Orion here, don't we? We do. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Antonio. Look at our boys there, our sons, all grown up. They had a growth spurt. Now, Kaz, working off of Mike and Antonio's work with Sirius and Orion, you designed their signature heavy scythes, the Wrath and Pride. How did you want to approach the concept and the models for these? Because you did both.
Yep, I did the whole thing on these ones. We knew we wanted to have something that represented both of the Warframes in one, and we were thinking about other types of weapons, like maybe the split dark sword kind of thing or something like that. But when I thought about just the theme of the scythes and stuff, and well, a heavy scythe has a blade on both sides, why don't we just do one on each side that represents each character? And it looks like I had to do was flip it over to do each version, but the rig's a little more complicated than that. There's 2 bones on one side and 1 on another, and they telescope, and it's all sorts of weird stuff. So actually, this was a lot more difficult than it looked, but it was really, really fun to work on, really fun to sculpt. It was really fun trying to bring in some of the elements from each of the characters into these pieces.
Yeah, and you made them so beautifully complementary to our sons, so thank you for that. Now, we can't forget about Sirius and Orion's mentors, Ryoku and Vina. Yes, shout out to our character artists, Frederick and Adele. Yes, our newest proto frames. And now, with new proto frames, we need new Gemini emotes, don't we, Elyse? And both you and Shaylee worked on Vina and Ryoku's, which we'll have a look at now. And I know you shared a fun story with me about Vina's Gemini emote.
Yeah, here's some footage of me being really creepy. I should have probably just mocapped it, but no, this is hand-keyed. So the direction for Vina, I think Reb said, well, first off, she's hot as fudge, and she would live in blood, drink blood. She's all about that blood. So I was like, well, I'm gonna have to have her licking some of it at some point. So I'll do something where she kills someone so she can lick the blood. And then Liger, who did the concept for it, he was saying, it'd be really cool. She was super unsettling, contortionist vibe, creepy movement, kind of how a tiger stalks its prey, or how a chicken head is gyroed. So my direction for this was basically sexy murder chicken. Hopefully I nailed it.
Nailed it, absolutely. At least nailed it, right? Sexy murder chicken? Yeah. You did it. Now, all these characters come together, Sirius and Orion, Vina and Ryoku, in the Jade Shadows Constellations quest. Let's have a look at some of the mocap and early animation work that went into the cinematics for that. And Tim, what kind of inspirations did you pull from for these cinematics that you can tell us? And maybe a little bit of general of how you... Maybe you want to talk about that.
It looks hilarious, but I mean, like, if anyone's like me, when you were a kid and you had like action figures or Legos, or for me it was like Power Rangers toys, you kind of, you're flying them around your room and they're just kind of standing like this. But in your head, what you're seeing is the line trailer, right? Epic action. So we actually, when you're animating, you can start like that with just stiff characters flying around, figure out your choreography, your camera movement, all the kind of gross overall movements, and then you get into the fine details, polish it all up, and try to get that like extra zazz that makes it look really cool.
Very cool. And I know, Elyse, you were telling me this, that animators are involved in like pretty much every single process, every single part of the creative process. So you're working with like direction and the narration team to kind of build these up, right?
Yeah, so the amazing thing about digital extremes is that all teams are kind of involved with everyone. Good ideas come from anywhere. But the cool thing about us is that we have a mocap studio on site. So me and Tim are animating these scenes, but we're also doing the motion capture. We're in the bodies, we're acting as the characters and talking with Jeff and Reb about what the narrative team are thinking for this and working with sound and everything. So it's one big collaboration, and it's really nice that we're it's not like an outsourced company goes away and does the mocap and we get it and we just animate it. We're through the whole process, so it's really hands-on.
We love that, and we love that. Okay, who is, yes. We love our animation team. We love the DE team. Okay, who is ready for some more reveals? You guys like cool stuff, right? Yeah. Well, let's have a look at a very cool and sleek operator and drifter suit coming. So this suit is planned for an upcoming Nightwave mix. Now, we won't spoil too much here on this panel, but you're going to learn a lot more about it on the narration panel, the narrative panel with Kary and the narrative crew. So you want to tune in for that. Are there any motorcycle enthusiasts in here? So this is speaking your language then. Yeah, I see you. All right. In addition to the suit, we also have another Nightwave Mix reward that will be coming. Elyse, any words for this before we show it?
Yeah, so, when you're doing emotes, and a lot of them are super cool, it's like you get at the end of the mission and you're like, oh, I'm like a badass, I finished, I'm cool. And I was like, it'd be really fun if we had like a cheeky one where you're like, come on guys, you gotta get to the end, come on. So I wanted to do something like more fun.
Okay, well, let's see what Elyse got up to in the mocap room. Let's see what kind of energy you brought. Yeah.
Boy.
Come here.
Yeah, and this is animated by Eric.
Shout out Eric. I know you guys are cooking up the most diabolical ways to use this right now when it comes out. You little nasties. All right, I have a feeling that this emote will pair quite nicely with our next reveal, which is actually a community artist creation by Fomorian. Yeah, say hello to the Conquera Signa. Oh, boop, there she is. We got cat ears.
I'm sure Jeff is really happy about
Jeff
this.
is so happy. I got away with getting dance emotes in the game. Now cat ears? What else can we get away with? But yes, this is a community creation by Fomorian, and you might have noticed it says Conquera, so this will be our top tier donation reward for the Quest to Conquer Cancer campaign in October. So yes, you'll unlock this together as a community. Free reward. Get excited for that. Now, to tide us over until then, someone was pretty eager to model them for us. This man is never going to talk to me in La Catridad now. He's never going to forgive me for this. We also had a very special opportunity to work with another community artist for a deluxe skin. Maybe you guys can create a sound quake in this room right now. Banshee Deluxe. She's real. And this is designed by the lovely Mishka, who's actually here at TennoCon. Mishka, where are you? Hi, Mishka! Hi! Yes. Beautiful, 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 beautiful design by Mishka. And yes, so this is an upcoming deluxe skin for Banshee. Now, Kary, we just saw 2 community artist creations. How does it feel? How cool is it to see years and years of, establishing Warframe's art and design come through in community creations like this?
It is very cool. The community artists are incredibly high skill these days, which is really fun to work with. And seeing some of the older frames get a new interpretation, like Banshee is been around for a while now, and the deluxe skin has as well. So seeing a new interpretation, seeing something that gets kind of into some of the mythological theme, like there's a bit of scary monster that you wouldn't want to have screaming at you. Quality at the base of it is very interesting. And then some of our constraints and stuff, like you don't want a giant shoulder on your firing arm and everything else. There's a lot that goes on. So,
Mike, you seem to be musing here.
Giant shoulders are often a problem.
Life experience?
Okay, well, we're very excited for Banshee Deluxe. You guys excited for Banshee Deluxe? Yes. Okay. So much to look forward to, but let's take a look back. The old piece was quite a monumental update for, obviously, you guys, the players, but also for us at DE. We essentially set the stage for our journey forward with the old piece. But, of course, before we look forward, we have to look back. So we looked back through the eyes of the operator as they relive the moments of the war-torn moon Parida. This was an entirely new environment and setting that was majorly ambitious for the team to execute on. So let's have a look at some of the work that went into building it. And Kary, I'm curious, what did the beginning, weeks and months look like establishing Parida?
Rushed. Yeah, it was coming off a very big update. So 1999 and the Encore were kind of huge for us, as I imagine a lot of you would remember. It was an intense patch at the beginning, and trying to nail down what it was going to be and what we had to achieve was an interesting process. So, it's the World War I vibes where you see that there was a grinding conflict. It was trying to make it much more personal as far as the story goes, like a note of friendship between 2 people in the middle of what was recently a war is an interesting concept to try to bring across, show some classic Orokin when it's intact and on and on. And then, of course, rocks.
Rocks.
Yeah, bane of our existence, as it turns out.
I learned that they were very challenging for the team.
For years, yeah. Plains of Eidolon, about a week and a half, 2 weeks out, we were still trying to make rocks that would look sufficiently good, and it feels like it's a solved problem now.
Rocks are hard.
They are.
Rocks are hard. Parida, we love rocks, yes. Parida is also where we meet Adis, our little sentient friend who went through many iterations, actually, before we landed on the version that we know now. So let's have a look at some of the exploration the team did there on that. Marco, how in the world did you make players care about a sentient character? It's kind of unintuitive for us, right?
Well, this is one of those rare occasions where we managed to get most of the concept team to take a stab at this. And we had, stuff that was very, very alien and something that was a little bit more into the human. And then, you have to pick one artist to go at it and finish it up. And in this case, Alfio took care of the last steps that you see here. And even at the very last steps, we even took more of the humanity out from taking care of the skin, but still keeping that kind of mask that could still emote, and you have the original Eddie's face under it, aligned to the eyes, etc. So we push it more and more into less familiar, more alien, and I think at the end the reason why you still care so much for the character is mostly for the narrative, for the story, kind of the whole quest that you run through with him, and especially the work that the animators and the voice actor did that really push it forward.
Absolutely, brought it all together. Now, if you've played the quest, you know that Adis has the ability to control what has got to be one of the biggest bosses in Warframe to date, the Haalvu. Oh, Kary, you might want to fact check me there. Is it the biggest to date?
Are we including spaceships?
Ooh, spaceship bosses? Maybe bipedal characters? Let's go with that category.
Golems or something. It's very big.
Yeah, he's very big.
Yeah.
How did you guys go about tackling such a large-scale sentient?
I mean, it is different. You don't often kind of design from the point of view of an ant about to be stomped. So a different kind of design challenge on that side. And happily, we had the same person who did the vessels actually did the Haalvu, and there's a lot of overlap in terms of scale and everything else that's involved with that. But, you know, it's a different point of view. You actually care quite a lot about a foot design. I know there is a lot of caring about foot designs in Warframe, but this one particularly...
Kary, we're trying to get through this panel without mentioning feet.
It's a fetish. So, there is that. But yeah, you look up, so your silhouette at the top, everything else matters. So it is a bit of a different game, and it's bloody huge. So.
It is bloody huge. Shout out to Alberto for such phenomenal work on the Haalvu. Now, if you want to see some really cool kind of like in-progress states of the Haalvu model, we actually have like a bonus panel content article that will be posted over at warframe.com after this panel concludes, and it includes, you know, Alberto's kind of step-by-step on how the Haalvu was created. So you'll definitely want to check that out. We also can't forget about the Dactylus in our lineup of sentient characters. And now, Mike, can you tell us a little bit about how it was collaborating with different departments to make the Dactylus, it's kind of a dynamic character in the boss fight?
Before that, next time you guys are doing a big, giant robot, please let me know.
I think we already did.
Working on this guy was really I think Kary told me to say fluid process.
It is. There's a lot of interdepartmentals.
Yes. Often, sometimes or actually I should say, the question often is what comes first, chicken or the egg, and the answer at DE is generally yes. So working on this, we work with a bunch of departments, and Corey did a really cool design, and then having to make that in 3D and make it to the specs of the game designers for the boss fight was interesting. Like, I tried my best to split it up into different parts just in case if there was anything they needed to do, or if they changed their mind, they could do that. And I think at one point he was really bulky and really like hulked out, and they were like, we have to feel sorry for him. So we had to like, you know, make him a little bit frail. And I think when we saw the demo last year, it really hit when he got stabbed.
Yeah. Well, I know that you wanted to make the players care about a sentient character, which coming back to Adis was a bit of a tricky thing. Was there anything that you took from Adis that you applied to the Dactylus?
We literally took his eyes and put it in this character. I figured, you know, if it worked for Adis, it would work for this guy. So, you know.
Absolutely. All right, and credit to Fnatic as well for giving it its texture polish as well to really drive it home. Okay, so another unique element to this update was the new faction, the Anarchs, our new enemy faction. And of course, they came fully equipped with Tau Dax weapons. And Kaz, I know you had a blast working on these with the weapons team. What were some of the highlights?
Yeah, so I got to design all of them, which is always fun. The only one that we had to use for reference at this point was the Orvius from Teshin. So, well, I can't make everything out of just arc shapes and stuff. He's got to start pulling in some other elements. So I started looking at Teshin's model as well and bringing in more of those like slightly bulbous like bell shapes and things like that. And then some parabolic kinds of shapes as well, especially for the bow. And yeah, just kind of tried to expand the style a little bit. But it always is hard to start with these sorts of things. With the blank page, you don't know what you're going to do. But by the end, the last one I did was the Grattler skin, and that one I'm really proud of. I think that one came out the best.
Yeah, as you should be. It's incredible, right? Yeah. So, speaking of weapons, we had some big ones release in this update, the Tectilis artifacts. Focus school weapons that perform Tauron strikes, as we know. And Tim, these had to be big. So what kind of techniques did the animation team employ to kind of give it that oomph?
Yeah, so usually when we cast powers, we're focused mostly on mobility. Warframe's a very fast game, and we want you to be able to cast powers on the move. But with the advent of the Gemini emotes, we kind of tapped more into a cinematic camera where we would take control for a few seconds, not too long, and it really adds more cinematic flair and zazz to it. So when we had these big weapons, we knew it wasn't going to feel huge and impactful unless we did the same thing. So we made a bit more of a cinematic moment, take over control of the camera, and really show like the perspective of how big these things are.
And I know you guys didn't mocap any of these because I don't think you could, right? So they were mostly hand-keyed, am I correct?
Yes, we'll often shoot video reference, but I think maybe that first one that was shown in the demo was like a little bit longer, where you grab the sword and pull it out. That was originally mocap, but then we had to like crunch it down for speed, and there's heavy modification after the fact. But the rest, I believe, are all hand-keyed, yeah.
Incredible. And I know a lot of VFX and SFX to kind of like really bring it home and give it that punchiness. Now, the Tauron strikes, like everything else we've discussed thus far about the old piece, all came together in one seriously epic cinematic quest. Elyse, this screenshot maybe is giving you a little stress from looking back on putting it together, but I know that you said it was particularly cool to work on this opening sequence.
Yeah. The sequence was super fun. You can't mocap guy gets smacked by a giant vessel. Well, we could, but I think someone might die. So so you can't mocap like hardly any of this stuff, and you also can't film any reference, which is what I usually do. So you just have to kind of eyeball it, and it was a really fun challenge. And then I think I was done with the sin and moving on to other stuff, and then Jeff said, "Hey, I know we have him on the ground and then he gets smacked and then rolls and then does all this other stuff, but the designers have added this really cool marrow tick feature. So what if instead of that, he jumps up, hits him in the face, then gets blasted, then falls through the air, then gets knocked, and then da-da-da-da-da, and you have 2 weeks to go." So that was a fun challenge.
So you made it happen.
Yeah.
And Tim, as I understand it, you found some motivation during your mocapping. You found it in a really great place while you were working on the old piece. Do you want to share that?
Yeah, so like I woke up at one point last year with frozen shoulder, which just meant that like if I move it to certain positions, it would hurt a lot. And I thought, well, I just won't do that, it'll be fine. And then I was mocapping, I think, some agile animations for Uriel where he's got to like, rah, and I was like, oh, that kind of hurt. I think I really need physio. And physio apparently is find all the things that hurt the most and then do that for 40 minutes in the morning and 40 minutes in the evening. And I was like, I know I need to do it, but it's like, it's so annoying and it takes so long. And but at the same time that this was going on, NDD20 was doing his new player playthrough through Warframe, and
We love
watching him get absolutely giddy about the lore and feel all the feels in the quest. Getting to experience that again for the first time vicariously. To all the people who stream their new player experience, thank you for giving us the opportunity to feel that stuff again. But yeah, so what I did is I said, I'm just gonna save these as a treat. I will only watch them while I'm exercising, doing my physio, otherwise I won't do them. And so he motivated me. So to some extent, you can thank ND for the old piece having all the proper mocap where it's not just one arm stiff by my side the whole time. So
Wow.
thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you, Andy.
I was hoping to shake his hand today, but he's not here. So sometime maybe we'll make that happen.
Virtual handshake. Yeah, thank you everyone who plays Warframe and streams it and shares those experiences with us. That makes it very special, very motivating for the team. So thank you, Elyse and Tim, for sharing that. We now have a video showcasing all of the incredible animation and mocap work that went into the old piece. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Onward It was him or me. Him or me.
I mean, wow. I'm sure.
I think we know how your shoulder got messed up.
Yeah, actually.
We gotta talk to Jeff.
Literally just got a case of the olds while I was sleeping.
Well, shout out to the animation team, DE team, obviously. Like I said, this was such a monumental quest for us. So give them a hand for such incredible work on such a big, important quest for us. Now, of course, that quest sets the stage for our journey to Tau. Are you guys ready for some Tau reveals? Is Tim not ready? Is that what was happening over there? Okay, so let's start with the kind of weaponry you'll have in your arsenals. How does a shotgun sound? And not just a shotgun, a sentient shotgun. Yes. Now, Kaz, we can't say too much about this, but we are looking at a sentient shotgun. What can you tell us about it?
Well, it's got 6 barrels. It's gotta be really weird. It's sentient. There might be a really weird animation that goes with this one, with some really weird little arms and stuff.
Tim, do you wanna give him a little tease, maybe?
Warframe weird.
Warframe weird. So sentient arms, 6 barrels.
They move.
They move. They do stuff. Okay, you'll just have to wait and see. All right, and it's been a while since we've had a new fist melee weapon. Yes. Kaz's jazz that you guys are excited. It is an unbelievably cool design. Perhaps we'll see it later in action. Without spoiling anything again, Kaz, sorry, Kaz, I haven't given you any crazy prompts for this, but what can you tell us? What was actually your favorite part about this design?
Well, the metal parts on the front, they might look a little bit like the sentient thingies that move in that undulating way on sentience. I don't know what you call those. What are they, generators? Wings. Wings? Yeah, so it's kind of like, when you're like tapping your fingers. It's kind of badass.
Undulating fingers. We like that. And with a new shotgun and with a new fist melee, you'll surely need something to shoot and punch, right? Well, we're heading to a place where you'll meet some very interesting sentient enemies. Pretty cool.
Going on there.
Don't you just want to punch him?
Yeah, I kind of just want to punch him. Okay, again, so sorry, we can't say much about this at all, but maybe you're theorizing. You got some things going on in the brain. All shall be revealed soon, Tenno. We can, however, show you some work in progress animation for this new sentient enemy. So let's have a look at that. And this video is interesting. It actually kind of highlights a very interesting part of the developmental process when sometimes the model isn't ready yet. So you're actually seeing a coolant arachnoid cosplay as this new sentient enemy. Look at him go. Yeah, I was actually talking to Eric who animated this, and he said it's really useful to have existing models with similar shapes and movements to work off of. So this is really super cool to see, and we're excited to see when the model gets done. Actually, do you guys want to talk about that a little? Oh.
Sorry, I was just going to say, yeah, we Warframe production is pretty quick, so sometimes we just have to get going without knowing what the final model is going to look like, and we just have to use whatever's close and then adjust when the final stuff comes in.
And it works out in the end. Okay, you got a little teaser there for how that sentient enemy is going to be moving around. Okay, we have a new shotgun. We have a new melee. What else could we possibly need to deal with these new sentients? Maybe we'll need the core cracker. The core cracker. Yes? No, that's not it! That's not it! Don't look!
Somebody guessed it. So.
Don't look at it!
Whoopsie-doodle.
Wow, you sure like that revolver.
Yeah, we love the core cracker, wow. We love the core cracker. Wow, okay, you ready for this? An interesting weapon like this surely needs an equally interesting Warframe! Say hello to Briscoe. Marco.
Yeah.
What are we looking at? What are we looking at here?
Well, yeah, there you go. Briscoe is a new detective Warframe that's gonna play an important part in the, our main update for this year.
Absolutely.
And as you've seen, he's carrying a big gun, and we're kind of going with that long trench vibe with him. But as you can see, probably, and guessed by the spoilers that we've seen online, he has some sentience influence going on. But kind of an opposite take compared to something like Caliban, where Caliban is more very heavy on the sentient elements. The open chest is floating, a lot of floating elements. In this case, Briscoe is almost, what was that? Sorry, I can hear you, buddy. So in this case, Briscoe, he has more of almost a normal Warframe design or a blueprint, which maybe we are suggesting that it's made with sentient resources.
Marco, teasing a little too many things there. So who's excited for Briscoe? I have one extra little tidbit of information about Briscoe that we can share. He will have his very own hound companion. It's very exciting.
And it looks awesome.
And it looks awesome. I'm sorry we're not showing it to you today. Picture it in your mind. Picture it in your mind. But we'll show it in future dev streams. Don't worry. But get excited for that. Little Briscoe hound companion. Okay, Tenno, that brings us to the end of the art and animation panel. There will be an article, like I mentioned, a bonus panel content article posted over at warframe.com. It features things like a video about Descendia's level design process from Cole Crosby, which is very cool. You'll want to check that out. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, Elyse. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Kary. Thank you, Kaz, so much for joining and sitting up here in front of this amazing crowd of Tenno, sitting here in London, Ontario, Canada, watching from around the world. Shout out to everyone at Digital Extremes. And I think Steve said it best at the beginning of the day. We love humans that make art. We love human-made art.
Yes, sir.
We sure do. We sure do. And a heartfelt thank you for creating characters and worlds that make us fall in love more and more with Warframe with each update, with each chapter of this 13-year story. We are so appreciative for all of your hard work. Thank you so much to the DE team, the art departments, the animation departments, everyone who makes these updates happen, who makes Warframe happen. And thank you guys for watching and being here with us today. Now, okay, I lied. I actually have one more thing to show you. Tim and Elyse have been quite occupied cooking stuff up in the mocap room. So why don't we take a peek at what they've been up to? And with that, thank you so much, everyone. Happy TennoCon. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you. Bye-bye.